Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our June 1 Board of Commissioners meeting. Bob's off vacationing in Wyoming and Montana. I have no idea why. But in the meantime, you're stuck with me. So let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, when he's gone like this, we have to do all the hard work. Right? Can't
Well,
get away from motioning or seconding.
Oh, that's right. Good. Double paycheck. Okay. Citizen comments. We have no one signed up, but we have time if anyone has anything they'd like to talk about. If not, then let's move on to item 3 of the agenda, public hearings, amending Article 11 of the Coos County Code.
All right.
County Council.
Thanks. This public hearing was set for the purpose of holding the second hearing and taking the board's vote on the adoption of Ordinance 2105002L. Notice of this was published in the World newspaper on the 7th of May and posted in accordance with ORS 203.045. This ordinance would add a new division called Division 6 to Article 11 of the County Code. This would impose decibel restrictions for off-road recreational vehicles operating in the Oregon Dunes and adjacent areas as defined in that ordinance, which is generally to the north of Coos Bay Estuary and west of the Highway 101. The ordinance would impose a noise emission limit of 97 decibels on all off-road vehicles operating in the regulated area. The ordinance does not cover racing events held at recreational parks. Those are regulated differently, and we're not covering those.
Okay, do you want to read the ordinance by title?
Yes, so this is in the matter of amending the Coos County Code to promulgate regulations regarding motor vehicle noise emission in the Oregon Dunes National Recreation Area and adjacent areas, Ordinance 2105002L.
And then the next step is to take public comment. Does anyone have anything they wish to comment on regarding this amendment? Second chance. Anyone have anything they want to say? All right, then the third step is to adopt the ordinance.
All right, I move to adopt Ordinance 21-05-005L, adding Division 6 to Article 11 of the Coos County Code.
Sorry, I have to interject because I made a typo. It's 05002L.
All right.
So,
Okay,
I'm happy with that change.
I second that. Discussion. Jody, would you like to comment on this? You've been.
Yes, as we have all of these.
Come on up and introduce yourself and tell us your involvement with the dunes.
We know who you are, but not everybody out there might know who you are.
My name is Jody Phillips. I represent Save the Riders Dunes, which is an organization to keep our dunes open for recreational use from off-road, but also to try to keep the grass and everything else at bay so we can keep our dunes. But this ordinance, and we appreciate very much you folks entertaining this, and John especially for helping us, because the Forest Service has certain rules and regulations, and the current limit is 93, which is completely unattainable. Example is I bought a brand new Razor side-by-side over here at North Bend Power Sports, and right off just total stock is at 96.5 dB. And so I couldn't hit that 93 no matter what I did. The option is to not buy it and not go recreate out there. Is really the crux of this whole thing. So the idea of this ordinance is to standardize the somewhat confusing state regulations, noise regulations. And 97 seemed to be the primary Oregon statute for noise level across the state. So the 97. So this is adopting that 97 across the ODNRA, which allows enforcement of the noise much easier, rather than, you know, there's always arguments out there. This will eliminate the arguments, and it'll also raise the fines for folks that are not compliant with 97. The local folks that live there, live around the dunes, have been complaining for a long time about noise, and Forest Service has taken upon themselves, with the county's help, to make it reasonable and enforceable, so we can start really hitting those that are blowing way louder than that. That's what this whole thing's all about.
Thank you, that's a nice explanation. I think this is a good step towards compromise. The noise out there can be overbearing at times, and other areas where dunes riding is popular, they've really come to almost a war between residents and recreationalists, and it's ruined the whole thing. So hopefully this will help us here. This is an important part of our economy here in the South Coast. So, any further discussion?
No, except thank you both and the rest of the group so much for your work on this.
Well, Jody and Deputy Will Coleman and others were very instrumental in getting this done. They all deserve a lot of credit. And the Forest Service. I mean, they recognize the problem, and
They're actually gonna do something.
they're very bureaucratic. It's hard for them to
Exciting.
move quickly, and but they were persistent in getting people together and making this work. So those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nat, for your involvement. Another public hearing regarding small business micro enterprise assistance grant program.
Yes.
Nathaniel?
All right, so this is our second public hearing. We're completing a small business microenterprise assistant grant program funded with community development block grant funds from the Oregon Business Development Department. This project was carried out in Coos and Curry County. It is estimated the project has benefited at least 106 persons, of whom 57.5 are low or moderate income, and this is our second and last hearing before we close out that particular project. So just need to seek any comments or questions if there are any.
Are there any questions or comments? Can you
I'll
talk
say.
to us about this a little bit?
Sure, this was a grant that we got, I think 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago now. We contracted with CCD to distribute the funds. They were distributed out to businesses that needed assistance. We've seen a lot of businesses need assistance during COVID. And I am trying to remember how fast this one was fully subscribed, but it was fast. It was a couple of days.
Yeah,
At the most.
couldn't have been more than that.
Yeah. And so it went out and assisted businesses in the area that all met the criteria of being small businesses. And many of them, as you saw, were low to moderate income.
Any further comments or questions? Have we satisfied the requirement then?
Yes.
No more needed, nothing more needed?
So CCD has done a tremendous job.
Yeah,
as you know,
I think,
this
I'm glad
last-
you brought that up. They assisted us in several distributions of emergency funds, and I was really proud of the way, as a matter of fact, were they not singled out by the state as
Yeah.
doing one of the best jobs in the state
Yeah.
of getting those
I
emergency
agree
funds out?
completely, because a lot of these projects that we've been working on, if it hadn't been for their help, would have been a lot more of an administrative burden
Exactly.
on the
Well,
county as far as the
It
things
would have
we
been
would've had to have
impossible
done.
for us to
Yeah.
have done it. I don't think we have.
Oh, I didn't want to go that far, but you're
Well,
probably right.
it's not our
You're
business. We
right.
don't have the resources to do it, and
Right.
it isn't what we do. We could do it, but to start from nothing and put together a program and implement it and get the money out, we could not have done it without them, in my view.
Yeah.
Well, and they're already in the business of checking financials and all of that,
they
so
know how to
they
do
didn't
it.
have the kind of ramp up that we would have had of trying to figure out how to handle all that information.
Well, let's move on then to item 4A, Coos Health and Wellness. Mike, you're gonna be up here for a good part of the meeting.
Yeah.
So
just
4A,
Mike. We're gonna
request
call this
approval.
Mike's meeting is mine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
hopefully?
Yeah, this item is to request approval to create a QMHA position, advertise and
Bye,
fill
Jody. Thank
Coos
you.
Health and Wellness.
Yeah, so we are asking for an adult case manager position. We've kind of ran our productivity to the limit, and we now need more case management for our adult program.
Okay. You have a motion?
Yes, let me scroll down a little bit. I move to approve an additional QMHA position and post and advertise until filled.
Second. And with almost everything that Coos Health and Wellness does, there has no impact upon the county's general fund.
That
So
is correct,
make
yes.
that blanket statement now. Discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. 4B, request approval to create EHR Technician 2.
Yeah, so we have EHR Technician 1, which is more of an entry-level position, and it's always kind of been in the back of my mind that if we ever got someone that stuck around long enough that they would get good enough to become an EHR 2, well, we finally have one, and so we've kind of budgeted for this, and now we're requesting the job description and the EHR 2 position to be created.
For my benefit, would you tell me what EHR
Oh,
stands
that's
for?
electronic health record?
Okay, thank you. I really knew that. I just thought, no, I didn't. So, discussion. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
We don't have a motion yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Better get that done.
I move to approve the job description for the electronic health record technician 2 position effective in the 2021-2022 budget.
Second. Discussion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. 4C, request approval to create appointment scheduler position and advertise and film. Coos Health and Wellness.
Is that not the one that I have next?
It might, if I skipped a jump,
have
I
a
did.
Mental health specialist, 2
I'm
senior
sorry.
clinician.
Yeah, let's go back to 4C. Request approval to create a mental health specialist to senior clinician position and revised pay grade.
Okay, so this is for our therapists, and it's kind of a way to keep retention. We are offering now a new level of clinician, which would be a senior clinician, which would be based on longevity.
Okay.
Okay,
I move to approve the job description of mental health specialist 2 senior clinician effective July 1st, 2021, and also approve revising pay grade 454 as noted above, effective July 1, 2021. And for these purposes, we're amending pay grade 454 to reflect a 2.3% overall average increase between steps 1 through 5.
second, discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Now, do you want to do 4D?
Yeah,
It's up to you.
so we've kind of taken our productivity, which is kind of our new model, to about where we can get it. So now this next position we're creating is an appointment scheduler, and what that will do is try to fill the no-shows as well as keep the no-shows to a minimum. So that's the other way that we can make sure that we increase billing. So the thought is that this position would pay for itself plus additional billings from the clinicians who are now taking the time to do their own scheduling, which we've noticed isn't necessarily helping out that well.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I move to approve the job description for appointment scheduler.
And I second that. Discussion?
So do they also call people and remind them of their appointments?
Yeah,
I mean,
that will be the whole thing is reminders, we'll
Right.
have a call list. If people don't show or they cancel, we'll be able to call them in, and hopefully we can kind of, our no-show percentages decrease so that
Right.
we'll keep up billing.
okay, yeah, because, you know, I mean, the new way you're doing it, you need to keep those no-shows to a minimum. So,
Exactly.
great, I think it's a good idea.
Let's see, we have a motion and a second.
Uh-huh,
Those in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Item 4E, request approval of out-of-class pay for 2 public health nurses.
So we're requesting out-of-class pay for our home visiting nurses who have been kind of stuck in COVID land since
you. Do we have a motion?
Yes. I move to approve and sign resolutions 21-04-058P and 21-05-078P.
Second, discussion?
I mean, we talked about it at our last board meeting and decided that this was the correct route to go to deal with this, so thank you, Mike, for following up on it so quickly.
Thank you. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion approved. 4F, request approval to reclass mental health billing, accounting, / accounting clerk position.
So, when we went to CCO 2.0, we kind of moved from a majority capitated to majority fee-for-service billing, which put a lot of extra work and onus on our billing people.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are requesting to reclass that.
Okay.
Do we have a
Right.
motion?
It's definitely a change in how we function.
Right.
I move reclassing the mental health billing / accounting clerk from pay grade 413 to pay grade 415 effective July 1, 2021, and approve payroll resolution 21-05-094P.
I second that. Discussion?
Is this worth some bigger conversation?
I think so. Yeah, could you talk
Understand.
about the difference between capitation and
I can,
going to
or Mike
fee
can.
for
He's
services?
the subject matter expert here.
Yeah, so capitation is where we get the money up front, and then we kind of list our services on what we did with the money. Where fee-for-service is basically you have to bill for every service and then you wait to get payment.
Right. So before we got paid more like for every life that was on the plan, right?
We got a per member per month payment up front.
Right.
It was about $12 million. Now it's about $4 million, so it dropped quite a bit.
Right.
Fee-for-service actually is two things. One, capitation is more of a reporting mechanism, where fee-for-service is more of a billing system, and
Right.
so that's kind of where we are now.
So it's more like the private model, what people generally
Right.
see when you go to the doctor's office, then you get a bill that says, you know, I saw you on this day, and so it's gonna cost this much.
Right.
So it's
Exactly.
functioning more like an insurance company model
Right.
now, instead of the model that we used to have, which was where we got paid for everybody who we could see, whether we saw them or not.
And when Mike talks about the plan, I assume it's the Oregon Health Plan.
Oregon Health Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
And the state had transitioned from this capitation model, which
It was January
gave
last
you
year.
a certain
Such an interesting time
amount
to
of
do it,
dollars per
right?
person.
What were the odds?
For everyone that was in the Oregon Health Plan in our area, as I understand it, and changed that to where you have to see that person provide service, and then you get paid.
Yeah.
And I compliment Coos Health and Wellness for transitioning from one model to the other.
Right.
Not an easy transition to
no.
make, and I think you've done a great job from everything I'm aware of.
Yeah. You guys have done a lot of pivoting in the last year, and I know it's been intense, but we appreciate your work, and I'm glad you're able to do telehealth. I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, that had helped in our COVID environment, and
Yeah.
we hope to continue it, because it does help connect to some of our clients that, don't necessarily wanna go in and.
I have no doubt. A lot of people have a lot of hurdles to cross, even just to get out the door. So if we can take it to them in their home, and, you don't have to have your clinicians driving all over the county, that's great.
A good number of the people that are on the Oregon Health Plan just don't have transportation. So
It's true as well.
getting to a place that they can receive medical care is a big, big issue.
Or
Others have
childcare.
health, pardon me?
Or childcare,
Or
or health
childcare,
issues.
yeah, it goes on and on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think what you've done is remarkable, so thank you for those efforts. I think we have a motion,
And a second even.
pardon me?
Yeah, and a second
In
even.
a second, and so those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Mike, you're winding down here. Request approval revised job description for the EHR Tech 1 position.
So, this is a job description change, to include public health, electronic health record, for the EHR one.
Okay. I move to approve the revised job description for the EHR Tech 1 position.
Second, discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. And request acceptance of grant funds from Friends of Public Health.
Yeah, so this particular grant was through the Marie Lanford Charitable Foundation as thank you to healthcare providers and staff. And so we are requesting to receive the $15,000 from the Friends of Public Health, as well as the permission to give gift cards for our staff.
All right. He has worked with you, right, on a distribution plan? You're aware of it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a
Sorry,
list.
Nat, not you.
That's all right.
I move to approve accepting the funds and disbursement of the funds.
Second,
I have time with that word.
discussion. Those
No,
in-
but Nat points out, and I think it's worthy of noting on the record, the grant funding was available for public and private entities, so it doesn't violate the government ethics rules.
Ah,
Yeah, it was, I think primarily a lot of these went to nonprofit organizations, which we would consider, public entities, and then the other
Right.
part of it too is that it's going to Coos County and then we're distributing it,
Right.
as
And
we see fit.
per employee, it's actually a fairly small amount, right? It's,
Well, it's between 15 and 275.
yeah.
The list of people that will receive it is pretty long. It covers 1, 2, 3,
4 pages, almost 3.
well, no one's name on the last page.
So I appreciate that you're
Like
even
3
giving this to
pages, so-
people that worked as temporary employees, because I know a lot of the contract tracers were temporary employees, and they worked really hard as we,
And we're
went through this
including
process.
some county employees who helped out in IMG.
yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay,
Okay?
Michael, thank you.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Aye. Motion approved. Okay, 4I,
Thank you,
request
Mike.
approval of resolution to transfer funds, crime victims assistance.
I need to say something,
Who's gonna handle that?
Mike.
Okay, I guess, let me read here. Crime Victims Assistance is seeking board approval to cover fiscal year-end account shortages from from accounts having a year-end surplus. And the requested action is to
Oh, yeah, they just need
approve
to
and
move something
sign a resolution allowing us to do that. And they're talking about $2,001 total.
Yeah. I move to approve and sign resolution 21-05-096B.
Second, discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. 4J, request approval to reclass support enforcement agent position, child support enforcement.
They're not here.
They're not here. Shall I go ahead with this? Any problem with that?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. This is to approve Rose Middendorf's reclassification from support enforcement agent to legal secretary 3, as Rose has taken on additional duties, including becoming LEED's is that it? LEED
Yeah.
certified. The budget committee has approved this change.
I move to approve the reclassification of Rose Middendorf to legal secretary 3 effective July 1, 2021.
Second. Discussion?
No, I mean, all I'll say is I do prefer it when department heads show up for these things.
I do too. So, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Item 4K, request approval.
Even when it's their day off.
Request approval of contract to purchase K-9 and authorize sheriff to sign.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you? Good
morning.
morning.
Wonderful, thank you. So unfortunately, Odin has been showing signs that he needs to retire for some while. He's getting stiff and his work drive is, because the pain has reduced a little bit. We're sad to see him go, but he is going to be spoiled. He's already being spoiled. We're starting there. So this motion is to replace him with another Malinois female, smaller actually, but apparently has a wonderful work drive. Her name is Sina. She's a rescue dog from California.
Wow.
Yes,
right. It's exciting. We don't get doggy pictures or anything?
Yeah.
I'll make sure it gets.
Is it a German Shepherd?
It's a Malinois.
A what?
A Malinois. They look like a German Shepherd.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the same as Odin, same breed.
oh, okay.
I
All right.
move to approve and authorize the sheriff to sign and pay invoice.
I second. Discussion? I have some cats that are showing up at my house. Does Odin need some pets in his retirement? I'm glad he dropped them by.
Maybe they could train those cats to be
Yeah.
part of the sheriff's office.
They're
Can we
kinda
give you
wild.
the cats as part of the package?
I'll volunteer or add to try.
We have a motion and a
It
second.
doesn't scare people as much when you open the back door and the cats jump out.
Can you do that again? Nice face. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion approved. Okay, we got that taken care of. 4L, request approval to of a contract renewal for timber patrol services, Sheriff's Department.
Yes, sir, so this is the one that began last year. Weyerhaeuser is paying for one of the deputies for patrol of timberlands, and this is just the second year of said contract.
Oh.
Okay. I move to approve and sign the contract with Weyerhaeuser for timber operation patrol services.
I second that. Discussion. Can you mention the amount? It's pretty significant.
It is.
143,000, I'll mention it.
Yes, sir.
And $58.
$58.
Yeah.
So,
$58.
any rate, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. And 4M, request approval to reclass
Thanks, Captain.
survey, oh, yeah, I guess you're done, sorry. Wasn't looking at the script. Michael, you're up. How are you? Better.
And I, just for the record, I will say, having COVID, I really appreciated all the contact tracers that actually
Helped.
call you at home and check on you. And
Wow.
how you're doing, what are your symptoms? Is there anything we can get for you? You know, very, very helpful and, you know, a great, great people they've got doing that.
Good.
Great.
Well, it's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And thank you for bringing that up.
One of our own.
So, it nailed you, didn't it?
Very grateful.
That, it really hit you hard, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
It
tough.
made a big impact in people and
Nice.
just knowing that, you know, someone out there was checking on you and cared, other than your family, you know, that, you know, they were, like, you want this statistic, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
I'm
for
glad
that.
you're better.
Okay, item 4M, request approval to reclass to Survey Tech 2. Michael?
Right, we're asking for a reclassification on Kyle. It was my mistake. I thought that he was Survey Tech 1, Step 4. I think we were gonna move him to Step 5, and actually he was already a Step 5.
Hmm.
And so I was not aware of that. And when we did find out about it, of course, Desiree and I were both out sick with
Oh,
COVID,
yeah.
and so couldn't respond, but,
And the confusion with that is the personal services sheet that we get to do our budget worksheets, Kyle's, his anniversary date is actually at the, lower end of May. And so on there, it states that, you know, he would get like 1 month, so like June, he would get paid this particular amount, and then for the remainder of 2022, he would be this other amount. Well, what we didn't catch was that it said he would be, for that first month, would be Step 5. And we're like, oh, well, he's moving to Step 5 for June, and then he'll be Step 5 for the remainder of 2022 with the new budget, and it was actually, he's already
Step 5.
Step
Step 5.
and we didn't take
Pick
that
it up.
into consideration, so it's really, you know, we apologize for
Oh.
that, and even as we going through all of our budget meetings with Megan here, it didn't dawn on any of us that that was a mistake, and so we apologize that the memo came out, we weren't here, and at the mercy of the clerk,
No.
trying to remedy that for his sake.
And
Thank you for
I
that,
realize
Sue.
we're not talking about a huge jump, but Do you have the funds available to reclass him effective June 1st? Because you'll have to cover it for a month before the new budget year starts.
We have, we already have
Okay.
him, I believe.
I assumed you did. It's not a huge
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have a motion?
I move to approve reclassification of Kyle Seals at step 4 of pay grade 415 effective June 1st, 2021.
Second, further discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Hopefully-
Motion approved.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hopefully nobody will
Oh.
have COVID next budget year.
Yes.
So,
No.
Are you working on a new date
Glad you're
for
both
our,
back. Oh, yeah, I've got that question.
auction?
Sometime in August.
We're hoping to do it sometime in August.
Okay.
That's in between knock and talks and when we actually receive new,
Yeah.
properties for foreclosure. And so we're looking at dates for that so that we can advertise in July and then
And-
have it
good.
in August. We've had so many people call that totally understand, but,
Sure.
yeah, that's kind of what we're hoping to do.
Good.
Well, the fair's always looking for events.
Yeah.
You could have it.
If there's already people there, that would be awesome.
Yeah, you can have it at the fair in July, right there on the
I
stage.
never thought of that before.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might not have the availability because all the buildings will be taken up, but,
Right.
yeah.
No, you can have it on the stage.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anyway, good to see you both. Glad you're
Yes,
well
glad
and
you're
back.
back.
Very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And item 4N, request approval of OTET subscription and participation agreement, authorized chair to sign. What is this?
Good morning.
Oh, here we are.
Teams-
Good morning.
Good morning.
More of a housekeeping matter. Actually, Oregon Teamsters Employees Trust just requires us to have these signed documents on file.
Ah,
Yep.
And it hasn't been done for the last year since we renegotiated the ONA and the FOCO union agreements.
Okay.
Just getting that out of the way.
All right. I move to approve the 2 OTET subscription and participation agreements for employees under ONA and FOPO and authorize the chair to sign.
Second. Discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion approved. Thank you so much.
right, thank you.
Good to have you back too.
Yeah.
Although she didn't have the virus. She was off doing something else.
Yes, I'm not keeping.
And HIPAA just went right out the window.
That's not much information. We'll leave it at that. Consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second, discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion approved. Commissioner reports.
Do you want to do commissioner reports?
Surely.
You want me to go first, or you want to go
Please,
first?
because I don't have anything ready.
All right.
wing
I
it
wrote
here.
my notes down while we were
I
in
know
our
it. Proud of
executive
you.
committee. Let me see. In the last couple of weeks, I chaired an Energy Trust board meeting for a day and a half. And I'm pleased to say that we are going back to in-person meetings, hybrid at least, effective June 8th. It's really difficult to chair virtual meetings, as Commissioner
No.
Sweet knows, and to try to figure out what everybody's feeling, because you can't tell, you don't get any body language. We held our CCD annual meeting. I'm the county's representative on the CCD board and on their loan committee and their executive committee. And their annual meeting was last week. Did not have any members of the public show up to make comment, but it was still a nice productive meeting. I attended some of the AOC County College as AOC president, watching the new commissioners get trained, and they've decided, I think, to move the September or October meeting, I think it's September, to Tillamook. David Yamamoto is going to do his tour again.
Oh, nice.
And so I think we're going to
That'd be
move the
nice.
AOC meeting over there too, so there'll be a
Good.
chance to go on that farms and
idea.
fisheries tour that they do. Which is nice, because they've done a lot of work on wetland rehabilitation and dealing with floodplain issues. They have a lot of similar lands issues to what Coos County has. And we've been in contact with them a lot lately about this change to FEMA flood insurance, because there's some indication that it could make it a lot more difficult to build in Coos County on anything that's a floodplain or within 100 yards of a floodway, regardless of the height and the elevation. So that's something that we've been working on for a long time with Representative DeFazio, something we continue to work on, but it could be a major issue, and Tillamook is actually the county that's the closest to having the same issues as us. Because we're always told that it wouldn't impact farm and forest lands, but it would impact your ability to, say, build a milking shed.
Yep.
So you can have all the dairy cattle you want in a floodplain,
Well,
but
you
you
don't
can't,
milk 'em.
you can't build a milking shed to milk them in. So we're trying to make the federal government understand those impacts and trying to find a solution to that. I met with I'll backtrack a little bit. We got a grant from, and some of it is just really having somebody to track what housing projects are going on. Because we know that the solution for Coos and Curry County is not, to build a 400-unit apartment complex. The solution is these smaller projects that, provide housing for people. It's really difficult in the current economic environment. I think everybody's busy talking about the price of lumber, but there are projects that are going on right now. And, one of those is our Englewood School project, where the county took that land in foreclosure. The city of Coos Bay is cleaning it up. And then at the end of that, we will deed it over to ORCA, Oregon Coast Community Action, and they will build low-income housing on that site. And there's a lot of other opening to anybody who's interested in housing. And just kind of an update, getting some of the developers there to talk about what they're doing.
Good.
And, just kind of a state of, I don't know what that, we held a work session on masks and face coverings. And we have rolled out a new policy that if people that are fully vaccinated plus 15 days don't have to wear a mask anymore in the office. As you can see, we are not wearing masks. Commissioner Sweet and I and Bobby have all submitted our proof, and so we are no longer wearing masks. That's a new county policy, but visitors to the courthouse will still be required to wear masks, as will any employee that Northwest and 4th. I think they want to bring an electric vehicle mobile showcase down here, but I think they're focused on the city of Coos Bay and holding it there, maybe during a farmer's market day. And it allows you
What would that consist of?
it allows you to test drive electric
Oh.
vehicles. You can actually sign up on your phone, go down there, unlock it. They geofence it so you can't run off with their electric vehicle and end up in Las Vegas.
Who
but
is this doing this?
4th has got a grant from people in Coos County, because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of mobile vehicle chargers around, electric vehicle chargers.
Just abandoned.
Bandon, there's some at Fred Meyer on the backside still, aren't there?
Are there? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
do they? And one, okay. So we're getting more of them, I know, and that's one of the things that they're working on, but, I don't think I've ever driven an electric vehicle.
accelerator, what you do, but all of a sudden you really fly.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't
It had some
take
zip?
long to go. I was amazed at how much pickup it had.
Huh. Well, if they're gonna have Teslas there, I'll let you know.
I've already had my ride.
They're gonna geofence you though. The Elliott State Forest Advisory Committee discussions continue. I was part of one last week about who should be on the ongoing advisory committee and what, not who, but what positions should be represented on there. And so those continue. Commissioner Sweet got a bathroom put in at Whiskey Run Trails. I think they're gonna call it John's John again, right?
I don't know.
The John Sweet restroom. And I also attended an Oregon Coast Trail landowners meeting. And Commissioner Sweet is one of the segment team leads for that, so we'll be doing a follow-up meeting in, I
Sometime
think,
in
June
June.
10th.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at right now. So, that's it. That's
Well,
all the excitement in my life.
you had a more productive couple of weeks than I had. Seems like I spent a lot of time on timber issues involved with a harvest plan for that state is putting together for the trust lands. Kind of disappointed. They're talking about taking half of those trust lands out of harvest. So it seems inappropriate to be doing that at a time when we still need the jobs. We certainly need the housing, and I know that they only provide a small amount of the total timber available, but every bit counts. And when the cost of wood has gone up so much that it's making it difficult to afford a home, it seems not at all appropriate to take timber out of our harvest base. did that, spent a little bit of time on our Coos Bay Wagon Road lawsuit. Seems like we're slowly moving ahead on that. The issue there is the way the BLM calculates the payments in lieu of taxes that they provide Coos and Douglas counties on the Wagon Road lands. We don't get a share of the revenues. Instead, we get these payments in lieu of taxes. And our assertion is that the BLM has not been calculating those taxes correctly, much to the disadvantage, the significant disadvantage of the counties. So hopefully that's inching ahead. BLM seems to have a way of slowing the process. Visited our parks prior to the holiday weekend. I don't think I've ever seen them look as good as they're looking now. Powers was particularly, it's just a pretty park and very well kept. The same with Bastendorf. Have some work to do in some of the other parks, but Parks is working hard and really making great strides. It's showing. I don't know if it's all due to just the park maintenance, but our parks were virtually full over the weekend. Even 10 Mile, which sometimes we're lucky to have a camper or two there, was chock-a-block full of campers. And the trails, the bike trails that Melissa spearheaded for the county have remained very, very popular, and great use is being made of those, and a lot of out-of-town people. I go out and check the license plates, and Oregon has more licenses there but there's a lot of licenses from other states all over the United States. So it's really nice. I think that's all I have to report.
Yeah, we just got an email from Lance saying that fire season's going to start Friday at 12:01 a.m. Friday morning.
We've
So-
already had 2 fires in the county forest. Of suspicious origin. So
There hasn't been any lightning, so.
that's very discouraging to see that happening.
It's an early start to fire season. When I used to fight fires, there were times that we didn't even start until after the 4th of July. So, it's an early start.
Now, did we pass an ordinance increasing the level of the crime of trespassing on the forest during times that you're not supposed to be out there?
We did pass an ordinance a couple of years ago prohibiting fires and other activities. I don't know that it increased the violation, but it is a violation of that ordinance. As I recall, it is a Class A violation, so it's as high up on the scale of violations as we can.
The state is considering the same type of thing on their county forest trust lands.
Our
And,
county forest trust.
Yeah. So something I wanted to look at again and make sure that we're keeping current on that. We simply, our county forest is so very important to us that we simply cannot afford to lose it. And I'm bringing this up because I suspect with the dryness, we're going to have a lot of road closures on it. And but the risk is too great. And we have these irresponsible people out there. And we don't have, there's no way that we can reasonably patrol the forest to the level that we need to patrol it to prevent these things happening. And again, to put it in perspective, round numbers, each year, part of our budget is income revenue from property taxes. Again, round numbers, they generate $5 million of revenue a year for the county. The county forests profit each year approximates $3 million. So I cannot imagine that we'd have to have a serious reduction in county services if our forests were destroyed. Or we'd have to have a serious increase in taxes.
Just to ask you a question, to clarify something. Now, if you, the forest is getting dry, everybody knows that. And I don't know why anybody would be out there building a park.
I don't either.
This time of year, but what about all the bicycles and the stuff that's gonna be using this forest and stuff all the time? I know there's smokers that ride them bicycles. Because the guy on the sport or bench was, he was going up there and talking to you guys, and I didn't say that to him. He was mad about him coming out down on the 7-7 where he lived down there. But that's all, what I'm getting at is, how you gonna, are you gonna stop them from riding a bicycle during these closures?
I don't think so. I find it different. When you're out there riding a bicycle, you're not likely to be smoking,
But they do.
but they do. I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't know that for a fact.
I don't know that.
I mean, there are probably some people that smoke that are mountain bikers. I don't know that many people that are serious mountain bikers are smoking while they're riding their bike.
Well, the thing of it is, whether they smoke or not, they're gonna get the use of the forest and the rest of the people aren't. I haven't been back in your forest, John, since me and you had that discussion. You can help me there.
Thank you.
Because when you start discriminating against everybody else, then I want no part of it. So I don't see how you could, say that other people can't use the forest and stuff, and you're letting bicyclists and them four-wheelers on them trails run all over the place.
Four-wheelers with an internal combustion engine and exhaust could be a different thing, in my view.
Thank you.
That's a discussion we'll have. Any rate, anything further?
I don't have anything else.
I thank you all. We're not drawing very big crowds these days. In a way, it's kind of nice, but I do thank all of you who do come because it's important to have your input. I know we don't always act on it, but I don't discourage your coming here.
Yeah.
So with that, let's adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.